Good morning, everyone. Tractorman 44 here. Sunday morning, and I've been dealing with a little bit of a problem. I don't know if you guys are either are plagued with or are blessed with an abundance of squirrels, but doggone squirrels are just a pain in the rear end. They get in everything we got. My wife and I, we have some wild birds and everything. We kind of enjoy the wild bird feeders, and I can't hardly keep them blasted squirrels out of my wild bird feeders. I've chained the caps down. I've done everything under the sun, tied them down. I've used cable, I've used copper wire. They chew everything. They just chew everything off. So I'm going to do something different this morning. This ain't no big deal. It ain't no how-to video. It's just kind of hopefully my answer is going to be to a little bit of a problem with these little furry monsters. I'm gonna shield the pole that my bird feeders are hanging on so that they can't climb up around it. So bear with me, and I'll speed the thing up as much as I can and show you what I come up with. It'd be kind of nice if you have a chunk of sheet metal laying around. Oh, it's got to be big enough to where you can get a halfway decent circle out of it. I'm just going to get a rudimentary center. It doesn't have to be exactly center by any stretch. So if I just go across that in the X mark like such, I'm going to get the center, or close enough. So then the next thing we got to do is make us a circle. So we got to come up with a way to make a circle. I just take a piece of wire, straighten out the piece of wire here a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like I say, we're not building anything crazy. Wrap a chunk of wire around it. Figure about how big a diameter I want. About as big as I can get. Something about in that area right there, I guess. That looks pretty close. If I cut it off a little longer than that, I can take this and poke just a little bit of an indentation. Poke a little bit of an indentation right there in the center. There we go. There's a crack. But if I get that somewhere near the middle right there and put this guy right here and something about like that, we should be able to stick it on there like such. We'll make us just a basic compass. Yeah, it's kind of silly, and it doesn't have to be absolute perfect. You see I ran off of it over there a little bit. A little bit off over here. That's right. Let's just shorten it up and do that again. There we go. We're going to be just right now. Close enough for who it's for. Like I say, we're not doing anything critical. First thing I like to do is get rid of these square corners. It'll be easier to cut with your smaller snips. Then we get serious about making it look a little more better. I can tell I haven't used snips in a while. My forearm's starting to get tired on me. That's what happens when you get old and retired. You get lazy. So that's a semblance of a circle. That ain't so awful bad, is it? I found a chunk of steel, a piece of a blower shaft, just about the diameter of the pipe that's my post for the bird feeder. That's a 3/4 inch shaft. We'll get it on there pretty close to center, and we'll just mark around that. I'm a little bit off center, but you know, close enough for who it's for. There's a little gauge I made a number of years back. It's got a 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch, 3/4 and 1 inch. So I'm going to mark a 1/2 inch all the way around the perimeter. You don't want a sharp edge on there for somebody to get cut on, you know. So there we got a 1/2 inch mark all the way around. We'll take these old boys here. We'll kind of come in here and we'll notch it. We'll notch it ever so often, all the way around the perimeter. Kind of make it look like a saw blade. How that? Now what I did, I went ahead and went all the way around the perimeter, cutting those little notches in there. And we're going to bend those over to where it'll have a dull edge around the perimeter so nobody get cut on it. And then the next thing we want to do is I want to reinforce that to make that a little more rigid. So I want to put a piece of wire inside there. So what you need to do, I got 20 inch diameter. So I think circumference equals pi times diameter. So 3.14 times 20 is roughly 61, 62 inches. So I'm going to measure off me some of this galvanized wire here, about 65, 68 inches of it. And we're going to go ahead and lay that in there as we roll those over. That'll give us a nice reinforced edge, and it'll be kind of dull to where my grandkids or anybody walking up to it or grabbing hold of it will have a tendency to not get cut, because these things can get pretty sharp. So I'm going to cut that and I'll be right back. What we need to do now, we need to make room for the pole. So I'm going to cut that right along this line right up to the center here. So I'm just going to slice right on inside here, right up to the center. Now, mind you, if I was making something that was important, I wouldn't use a wire and all that. I'd have to make it exact. I'd use a set of trammel points, or maybe a metal compass that will expand out to, 24, 26 inches. At any rate, what I need to do is around this perimeter for the center, I want to mark it about 3/4 of an inch larger all the way around. So I just took a regular pencil compass, put the pencil in the hole because the pencil will mark on the galvanized, and mark me a scribe mark all the way around. And then what we're going to do, we're going to reach inside here, we're going to cut this center hole out on the black line. So I'm just going to notch that all the way up to that outside mark with this guy right here. Now that we got that, we can go ahead and pull this around. You get a rough idea of what's going to happen. Whenever I cut that in, we raise this up, and look at there. It makes like what the old timers call a chinaman hat. It just pulls it in like this right here, and it's going to give us an angle like this to shed water. So I'm going to pull this over here like that, put me a couple of screws or rivets in there, and then I'll be back. I got them screwed secure enough, so we got the chinaman hat looking thing. We just bend these tabs up a little bit, bend them over somewhat all the way around the perimeter. Okay, so I've cut me a piece of wire about somewhere around 60 inches long. We're just going to take that wire, we're going to stick it inside here just like this, and let the springiness of the wire kind of hold it in place. I'm just going to tap this over a little bit. You get the idea. I'll go ahead and doll that up, straighten it up, and be right back. Okay, I got the wire lashed in all the way around the perimeter. Kind of smashed in there a little crooked in places, but you know what? Squirrels don't care. They're going to be a little aggravated at me anyway. I expect them to come in my house and kill me in my sleep. Sneaky little cotton pickers, boy, I tell you. But at any rate, I missed a couple here you got to kind of tap in. And for those of you woodworking fellas out there, I do a lot of woodworking myself, as a matter of fact. I know you're going to holler at me for using my table saw, my good old handy dandy Craftsman cast iron tabletop saw, as an anvil. But you know what? It works good, and it ain't no big deal. I got a couple of them anyway, and gave a couple of them away, and they're easy to come by, and they're reasonably cheap. So at any rate, I think I'll go install that and show you a picture. Not so bad. So here we go. 45 minutes later, we have a reasonably squirrel-free bird feeding zone. Looks like the fence feeder needs to be filled up. Got to get a soot block into the soot rack. And the miscellaneous bird feeder looks to be okay. This really ain't a very good rendition, but at any rate, it's functional. Hope you enjoyed it. Just kind of use the idea and improve on it if you like. See you guys. Tractorman 44, and I'm out of here.